I mean, restaurants were just waiting to open their doors to international travellers as well. Accommodation venues just waiting to welcome those travellers. What bad timing. Any idea of what the President could say tonight?
Oh, well, very good afternoon to you. Good evening, I'm sorry, to you, Francis. Yeah, this is quite an interesting time for South Africa. I feel for the industry, and I feel for all South Africans because what really has transpired, I think none of us had expected it would happen this way. Yes, we had been warned about the issue of the fourth wave, but no one expected perhaps a variant that will then lead to other countries just shutting us out. So then the President will have to be very clear in how he will then make his speech this evening. Basically, Francis, what we expect from the President is that he will give us an update on where and what this Omicron is in relation to the activities of the country. But of course, also talk about the issue of vaccination, because remember, it is clear now that for us to be able to beat this coronavirus, we have to vaccinate. So clearly it's with us for the longest time. I think that's the other issue that he's going to speak about. And of course, say we need to adhere to COVID protocols. But in terms of closing down restaurants or alcohol industry, I don't see that happening yet because I don't think the health sector is under pressure so much so that it needs to be relieved that kind of pressure.
Yeah, the numbers aren't anywhere near we were at the peak of the third wave. They're picking up. It seemed like there was a jump earlier this week, but nowhere near. And surely, Mzwandile, our government has to be consistent. We have the health minister saying that the international flight bans are unjustified. So then surely we have to be consistent and not have any knee-jerk reactions in terms of our internal response.
Completely unjustified, Francis, because this variant is found in some of the countries that have just jumped to close us down. So then the question is, and there has been no evidence that this is a South African virus, so to speak. The fact of the matter is that our scientists have done an excellent work. They have been the ones to be able to discover that there is this variant, and then it's in many countries, of course, in SADC and in Hong Kong, Belgium, and of course in UK as well. So if then we were to then follow that example, then they will be justified in closing us down. So clearly, we as South Africans need to be very careful in how we do this. Yes, we don't need to be reckless, because if the numbers keep going up and then they get to a stage where they are unmanageable, so they'll be left with no choice. But I still think we have a window of opportunity to be able to control this. Certainly, we will have to adhere to the protocols. I think that's the only way that will be able to get us through this, because failing to do that, I can see the President calling us in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, that would be bad news, because we would not have listened.
And listening to the ANC earlier saying that the lockdowns really affected it at the polls because government has acted in the way it has in the past. Could that affect the party's stance when it speaks to government leaders? Is there the political capital to be harsh when it comes to vaccination mandates, to try and push jabs? We'll bring you some more analysis. Thank you so much for now. That was SABC News political editor Mzwandile Mbeje.